Hey, that's great. It is necessary sometimes to change our activities so that we can feel a little more relaxed with what we do. Sometimes, whenever it is so monotonous, it can be tiring.
Yes, it is, teacher.
All right. Thank you very much, Fer.
Thank you.
Uh, okay, Flor, welcome. How are you?
Hi, teacher. Fine. How everybody?
Excellent.
Fine, bro, fine.
Great. Flor, talk to us about your weekend. How was it?
Oh, fine. I relax and sleep a lot.
Wow. Hey, that was delicious.
Mhm.
So, yes, whenever we have lots
Yes.
of things to do, sleeping is wonderful.
Yes, but never is enough.
Yes, that's it. I totally agree with you. All right. Thank you very much, Flor. Sandy, welcome. How are you?
Fine, thank you, teacher. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Sandy, talk to us about your weekend. How was it?
It was very interesting because I went to visit the botanical garden, and it's it's great. Well, here in Gothenburg, it's autumn, and it's super freezing now.
Wow.
Then we entered to the garden house. I don't know how do you say invernadero. Greenhouse, I suppose.
Yes, to the greenhouse.
To the greenhouse, and it was very interesting to see jungle in the middle of the autumn here. It was
Yeah.
nice. A lot of flowers.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. And so, well, Sandy, you are in Sweden, so you didn't leave the traditions of the Day of the Dead. Fernando, you are not in Mexico even, so you didn't either celebrate the Day of the Dead. Were you? Was it something similar to the Day of the Dead or Halloween where you live? What about you, Sandy?
Well, here is Halloween. We have a lot of pumpkins with scary faces. And I celebrate Day of Dead in my heart because I love it that day. It's my favorite in all year.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Sandy. And what about you, Fer? How did you celebrate? I guess you were also celebrating Halloween.
I'm celebrating working hard.
Ah, yeah, that's it. And what did you see? How did people celebrate over there?
Is something is I'm to Sandra. They put a lot of pumpkins out their house, and the kids or the children go to all the homes and ask for the candies, and everybody have to give them candies.
Uh-huh, that's it. And that's nice. All right. Thank you very much. You know what? Oh, Samuel, welcome. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can listen to you.
I'm very fine, thanks. And you?
Excellent. I'm fine, thank you. And I think everybody is. So, Samuel, how was your weekend?
Oh, I am very busy. I have fixing a software of my work, and it was a little difficult. And also, I have a lot of homework,
Oh my,
but I'm fine. That's okay.
that's the most important. How did you celebrate the Day of the Dead?
I don't celebrate that day.
Ah, yes, that.
I don't believe in deaths. I think that the dead people is just dead and that's all.
Okay.
But I respect the ways of think. The celebration.
Yeah, the point of view.
Yeah, the point of view.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, guess what? Today we are going to talk about a very important topic. It is not only interesting, but also important, I consider, because it is about natural disasters. So here we go. Here we have some images and some words, some exponents of vocabulary about natural disasters. So please, could you write in the chat the words that are non-familiar for you about these natural disasters?
Okay.
Okay, floods. Do anybody know what is a flood? Anybody who could explain what is a flood?
Can I?
Yes, please.
It's when the water up a lot and rise, increase the level of that, and all the people could drown. It is okay?
Yes, that's it. Thank you very much. Yes, it is when it has been raining for maybe for a long time or maybe a lot, an enormous quantity of water, and so the water covers the houses. Get it? All right, so please, what about drought? What is a drought? Could anybody help us explaining it?
When it hasn't raining for a lot of time.
Yes, that's it. For a long time.
Oh, for a long time, sorry.
No, it's okay. And it causes that the earth is so dry that it doesn't produce anything, any vegetable, any fruit. Yeah, so even here we have an image about a drought. Here it is. Okay. All right, so what about a blizzard? What is a blizzard? Could anybody help me explaining what a blizzard is? No? Well, a blizzard is a phenomenon that occurs when it is windy and snowy. So the wind has snow in it. It's a storm, a snowstorm.
Oh,
Fernando, does something like this happens where you live? Maybe Fernando is having problems with his microphone. Sandy, what about you? Does something like this happen there in Sweden?
Oh yeah. In winter we have, I don't know how to say, a lot of blizzards or
Many blizzards or frequent blizzards.
frequent blizzards, and we have a lot of snow, but a lot, like, I mean, a lot of snow.
Yeah, it
The
is
train
something.
could be blocking. The highways could blocking, the train blocking. It could be a problem here.
Oh my. Yes, I think so. All right. Thank you very much, Sandy. Okay, so Fair, what about you?
Catch. I don't know about it. No, in here where I live,
Ah,
but I think it's a phenomenon that about the air, right?
yes. Well, a blizzard is when there's a lot of wind
Mm-hmm.
with snow.
Oh, with the snow. Oh, no, I don't have experience in that. I don't experience that.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so here we have the earthquakes. Fernando wrote that earthquakes are common in Mexico. Yes, they happen very frequently here in Mexico. Okay, so have you had, have any of you has had any experience with any natural disaster? Something that you have lived?
Well, I suppose that the old people in CDMX, we have had bad experiences with earthquakes.
Yes, that's it. Samuel, were you nearby when the earthquake in 2017 happened?
Yes, I live in Estado de Mexico, and it was very horrible. Well, I didn't feel the earthquake very hard with a lot of with a lot of strong. Is it correct? Sorry.
So strong.
So thank you, teacher. So strong,
Sure.
but the people were screaming that day. Were screaming. The women were screaming, and in the news you saw all. So you saw just bad news that day.
Yeah, that's it. It was terrible. And where were you, Samuel?
I were in the supermarket.
Uh-huh,
Well,
I
sorry, teacher. I was in the supermarket. I was buying eggs. I remember. I was in the street, but my family, my aunt, she lives in CDMX. She lives in
in Mexico City.
Mexico City. She lives in Azcapotzalco.
Oh my.
Yes, and she told me that the earthquake was horrible. So I suppose that many people in Mexico City could feel a lot of fear in that moment.
Yes, that's it. All right. Thank you very much, Samuel. Flor, what about you? Where were you when the earthquake in 2017 happened?
I was in my job, and minutes after, we have the simulacro,
The rehearsal.
and a couple of hours later, start to earthquake, and all the people was scary, and the don't have communication by cell phone, and the people was screaming, scary. Some some people cry, very scared.
Yes, it was so scaring for many people. Oh, it was a terrible situation.
Yes, and the traffic for return our homes, it's terrible. I take an hour and a half for return to my home.
Yeah, it took an hour and a half.
It took an hour and a half. Thank you. Yes, the traffic is terrible.
Yeah, it was. It was terrible.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you,
So,
teacher.
please talk to us about any experience that you have had, Sandy. Have you experienced any problem like that?
Well, in nowadays, no, because here only have snow, but it's like I don't know how do you say that. It's difficult because I am I I am not used to, but here it's normal. Then the houses are prepared for that, for snowing and for cold, and the highways or train or um, you know the transport, the public transport, it's adapted to this here. Then it's like super rare that something uh, like a natural disaster happened here.
Uh-huh,
It's
that's
difficult because it's not a natural disaster, it's normal.
yeah, for us it would be, of course, a natural disaster because we are not used to that. But yes, you're right. It is not a natural disaster when it is the normality of a region.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then I don't have any experience, bad experience about that. Just the process to do a habit with snow, you know, and cold, and that's it.
That's it. All right. Thank you very much, Sandy. Fernando, what about you? Have you experienced any natural disaster?
No, teacher, not now. But here is common to the tornadoes.
What
Uh,
happens when a tornado occurs?
I never seen one, but the media like the radio, TV, and cell phones give advice about it. So everybody is ready for that. Everybody have the advice.
Aha,
So
that's it.
I never seen one, but it's terrible. I know about because I have the opportunity to see and watch TV, and they are very destroyer. So
Destroying.
destroying a lot of house, cars, everything.
Yeah, it is destructive.
It's destructive. All right, thank you.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you very much, Fer. So it is very good that you haven't experienced anything like that. Because yes,
No.
it might be terrible. All right, so please let's go to the next image. Give me a moment. Here we go. Okay, so here we have some natural disasters. For example, could you tell me what is it?
Fire.
A
Uh-huh.
fireplace?
Yeah, that's a fire. Well, the fireplace, it is the chimney in a home.
Okay, teacher.
Yeah, so this is a fire in a city maybe or in the countryside. It's a fire. All right. So what about this one? What is it?
It's a flood.
Tsunami.
Tsunami, I mean.
Yeah, we don't know if it is a tsunami or a flood or maybe a hurricane.
Yes.
All right,
Maybe.
excellent. So what about this? What is it?
A
An
tornado, maybe,
earthquake?
or
It may be a tornado or
Earthquake.
Aha, yes, it can also be an earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So could you mention some other natural disasters that you know or that you have heard about?
Natural disasters.
Where a volcano blow, for
Mm-hmm.
example.
Yeah, volcano blow or a volcano eruption.
Volcano eruption. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Anything else?
Mm,
So, mm,
a tsunami, for example.
Yeah.
Mm, what else? I don't know the difference between tornado and a hurricane.
Well, a tornado is wind that is spinning and it's so destructive.
Okay.
And a hurricane is also wind, but it is not, well, yes, it is spinning, but it is also followed by a lot of rain.
Okay, then.
but
Okay.
it's in the sea, right, teacher?
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
hurricane.
In
Yeah,
the tornado in the land, or how to say?
yeah, a tornado is in the land.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you're right. A hurricane is in the sea, so it brings water with it.
Now, thank you.
No,
I
thanks to you. All right, excellent. So here we have a phrase. Sandy, could you help us reading that phrase?
Yes, we cannot stop natural disasters, but we can arm ourselves with knowledge. So many lives wouldn't have to be lost if there was enough disaster preparedness.
Preparedness. Yes, thank you.
Preparedness.
Okay, so we could say preparation, but whenever we talk about any knowledge that we may have or that we should have, then the correct word is preparedness. Oh,
Okay.
all right, thank you. So, Flor, what's your opinion about this phrase?
Well, it's very important because the knowledge it's uh, prepares for any disaster, like how to know how to do it in case of earthquake or eruption or hurricane, etc. And I don't know, maybe know where is the point safe
Ah,
and save our important papers, uh, take a bag with food, lantern, maps, batteries.
yes, that's it. So that could be a kind of preparedness. Flor, thank you very much.
Thank you,
So,
teacher.
Flor, who's your victim?
Fernando.
Thank you.
Thank you, Flor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. It's very important because the disasters are unpredictables. How to say
Unpredictable.
unpredictables, right? So they are unpredictables. So uh, we have to have a reaction plans and action plans to face them.
For
So
facing them.
for face for facing them. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, that's
And the information that Flor gave to us is very important too because we have to have food, uh, save the papers, and other things that we have to take account.
aha, yeah, that's it. Sometimes when we are in a Well, not sometimes because it is not frequent, but if we had an emergency situation, of course it would be very difficult that we stop saving our lives because of the documents.
Yeah,
But undoubtedly, documents are very important. So we should be prepared for saving the most important ones.
that's
All right, thank you very much. Fer, who's your victim?
um, I think it's Samuel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando.
Welcome.
And I don't know if you remember in the last earthquake in Mexico City. Um, so a group of some persons, I don't know how many, but after the of the earthquake, those people didn't wait enough time to enter again into a build. I don't remember the details, but when the people went into the build again,
The building.
the building, sorry, teacher, into the
It's
building
okay.
again. Um, sorry. Just give me a second, please.
It's okay. Well, I guess that I know what is Samuel talking about. So sometimes whenever, yes, Samuel,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Sorry. Yes, when the people went into the building again, and then the building collapsed. I don't know if you remember,
Yes,
but it was very horrible. And I think that it is very important during a natural disaster to think first in your life, because your life is the most important. And some persons think that her her things like cell phones, I don't know, computers or another stuff are more important than their lives. So I think that in a natural disaster like like an earthquake, the most important is your life, and also you have to know, like Fernando said, um, we must have an action plan to be um, preparedness in that situations in those situations.
yes, that's it. And you mentioned something really important. You said also that our life is precious. So we shouldn't risk our lives just because some possessions. But yes, sometimes we react in the incorrect way, and that's the most difficult part. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
because
Yes, Flor. Yes.
the sorry, teacher. Yes, because the people don't take serious the simulacros. The people think it's a joke, and when the disaster occurs, that's the consequences when the
Yeah.
people die.
Yeah, those are the consequences.
Also, sorry, teacher, but I have a doubt. Do you have an emergency kit? I don't know if it is correct.
Yes, that's it. And it is something that I was talking about in the last class. I
Oh,
was mentioning that even though I am, whenever I talk about this topic, I am class after class recommending my students to do it. I don't have one. And my excuse is that I don't have time, that I'm very busy. But I should, well, in my personal point of view, I should be aware that they are very important things that I should take care of. Maybe my life would depend any time of this backpack, this emergency backpack. And so I shouldn't be having some excuses like that I don't have time. And okay, so do you have one? Well, how would you prepare an emergency backpack? Here,
Oh, it's a good question. I suppose with I don't know. Well,
okay, well, here we have some suggestions, but of course, it is at your consideration. What do you think about this? Could you help me writing in the chat what are the things that you consider that would be very necessary for an emergency backpack and why? What's the use of these things? For example, I would have some adhesive tape in my emergency backpack because I think that it could help me in any severe wound. If I would hurt my leg or my hand, it could help me to have the first aids to myself. Well, this is my example. What do you think about it? Could you help me writing in the chat? Okay, so Flor wrote, a flashlight. When the light is off, batteries for flashlight, cell phone emergency phone. Okay, cell phone, emergency phone numbers for calling. After we use a preposition, the next verb that we are going to use should be used in the gerund form. In this case, the preposition is for. The correct is for calling. The police, fire department, 911, water. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thanks to you, Flor. Fernando, I would take with me my cell phone because it is very important for getting, instead of for to get, the correct is for getting communication with my relatives and emergency services. Excellent. That's it. Just those little corrections, Fernando. Andy, I would have a first aid kit for me. Uh, and for me, oh, I'm lost. Okay, yeah. And for me, it is important to include, or
Mhm.
I would include a flashlight, extra batteries, a radio, and some water. It is not necessary to say some water. Yeah,
Okay.
and some water, it could be for curing, because previously to the verb cure, you had a preposition for
Mhm.
curing injuries and survive a day or two. If I were, no H, where is the past of to be. If I were trapped
Oh yes. Thank you.
to a
Sorry.
down build, that's it. Samuel, I would include peroxide in my first aid kit because it could help me to stop nosebleed or another hemorrhage. Excellent. Hey, that's it. That's very good. You know what? Yes, I think that it is so sensible. Uh, Here we have another situation. In, when a natural disaster happens, of course, that we need to fix not only the things that were destroyed during the disaster, but also we need mitigation for the pain. Because, of course, everybody is afraid of the situation that happened. Everybody were scared. People is sad. People is desperate. And so we need the mitigation for that pain. We need to go to community resilience. What is resilience? Do anybody of you know what it is?
I think that it's a capability to face difficult circumstances.
Yes, yes, you're right. It's the ability that we have, or the capability, as you very well said, to face different problems, different maybe tragic events, and to keep on being in function. So community resilience means that we are going to be together, helping to the moment to help, waiting, I'm sorry, waiting for the moment to help, or trying to see what to do, or just being uh, peacefully. It could be. All right. So for getting to community resilience, we need, first of all, public information and warning. A question, Fernando, in the place where you live, is there a program for public information and warning after or before, previous to a disaster? Fernando, hello.
I think.
Hi, teacher. Sorry,
Yes.
I had a problem with my microphone.
Oh, it's okay.
Yes, here in the United States, there are a lot information, previous information for natural disasters. In fact, here the information is very targeted. So the radio give advice in time, give advice on time, and inform. So when a tornado is coming, they give information on time. When the hurricane is coming, they gain information and they give you instruction to follow it, to following. Um, the authorities, the police, the firefighters, they are very ready for all kind of disasters.
All right, thank you very much, Fer. Samuel, what about the place where you live?
Well, I don't know if there's a specific program, but in the buildings, you can see the indications in the wall about the public information and warning in a natural disaster like an earthquake. Specifically, I think that there are a lot of information in the walls of the buildings about earthquakes, what to do in an earthquake or in a fire.
That's it, and that's very important. Thank you very much, Sam. So, Sandy, what about you?
Where here we have a special program for contingencies, but it's like a big contingencies, you know, in case of war, for example. We have I don't know how do you say simulacros
Rehearsal.
rehearsal every month. The first day of the month we have a alarm, a terrible alarm that sounds in all the city, and all the people knows that that sound is the rehearsal about a contingency, and they prove the alarm and give you some information in paper with documents and internet. We have a lot of information at internet.
Okay, thank you very much. And finally, Flor, what do you think about it? Do you have a lot of information where in the place where you live?
Or in Mexico City exists the seismic alarm, and sometimes release test when there are a earthquake sounds with I don't remember, it's 5 minutes, 5 seconds after the earthquake um, start. And well, in the public buildings there are signals with the emergency exit, and the civil protection have programs in case of disasters.
That's it. So yes, there is information, and in some cases even there is training about how to cope with these situations. All right, thank you very much. So look at this. Next, we have the long-term vulnerability reduction. What does it mean? Well, it means that after a natural disaster, what happens with the population? How long we are going to be vulnerable, how long it will be risky for us to live in this situation. Here the target, here the main objective is to reduce the time, the term that we are vulnerable. So there are some programs, for example, the volunteers who help people, the places where they can have a refugee, so that they uh, don't spend so bad times. Of course, when a natural disaster happens, it is terrible because all the people live, well, some people live on the streets, some people live in with non-help, and so it is important that we can have a solution for that situation so soon. So let's ask again about it. So Samuel, the place where you live, is there any program or are there any associations who are dedicated to help people in vulnerable situations?
Well, I suppose I don't know any association. I suppose I don't know how to say Cruz Roja.
Red Cross?
Oh, well, Red Cross. I suppose the Red Cross, but I don't know any association. But I remember that in the last earthquake, some people uh, were helping. I mean, I remember that I saw in internet some programs and some YouTubers that were helping people in the streets.
Okay, thank you very much, Samuel. So, your victim, Samuel, who's next?
Flor.
All right, thank you. Same question, Flor.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, in civil protection have planned DNA4, and the soldiers that are prepared for help the people in case of disasters. One in the last earthquake, we have I don't know how to say binomios caninos,
Canine binomios.
canine binomios, and these dogs are prepared for search people in escombros. How do you say?
In the rests.
In the rest, I think it's the basic programs.
All right, thank you very much, Flor. So
Thank
please,
you, teacher.
Flor, who's next?
Tandy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Flor. Here we have a lot of places that where the people could go and have food and a place to sleep in the case of a disaster. Like I said, it could be a war, for example. We don't have earthquakes or something like that because here we don't have earthquakes. But we have a program for in case of war or in case of fire and on storms with snow. And we have places that you can go there and you have free food and a free space to sleep, for example.
Okay, thank you very much. In case of war.
And a war or a storm with snow, for example.
Yeah, that's it. All right, thank you very much, Sandy. And so, Sandy, your victim.
Let me see. I don't know if Samuel do his participation.
All right, yes, thank you.
I have participated. I suppose that the next is Fernando, but I can talk again. I don't know.
Okay, so thank you very much, Sam. So why not fair? All right, so let's give them also the opportunity to speak.
You can do it again, Samuel, no problem. Okay, I'm agree with Flor because I know about all the municipios and states of Mexico have a emergency service for facing that. But it's important the action of the Ejército or army and the Marina of Mexico. They work very hard when the natural disasters uh, uh,
Occur.
destroy occur. That's the correct picture. So that's my information.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so you know what? I think that we could be talking for a long time because even we haven't finished with all the program. but unfortunately, time is over. But I think that here the most valuable is that we take into consideration that maybe any action could save our lives. So, you know what? Samuel made a question to me, and it was very shocking in a moment. And I said, Maggie, how come? Because Samuel asked me if I have my backpack, my emergency backpack. And I said, oh my, I don't have mine. So, you know what? I am going to prepare it because it is necessary. And I am all of the time um, suggesting to my students to do it, and I don't have mine. How is it possible? So, thank you very much. Yes, let's take it into consideration. All right. Well, I don't know if you want to say any commentary or ask any question. No, anybody? Well, thank you very much for your attendance, for your attention, and meet you next class.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank
Have
Goodbye.
a night.
you. Have a
Thank you.
good night. Good night.
Good
Good night,
night.
everybody. Enjoy the
Good
night.
night, everybody. Good night.
Bye.